As you know, reimbursements right now are going down, especially for standard procedures. We see staff shortages in many clinics. There's a study from AAO showing that also we're going to have a shortage in ophthalmologists of about 30% in the year 2030, which is not that far away. Now, how do you see technology helping with that, coming through that?
Well, we're already seeing it in our clinics in Florida. You're having more and more patients come through. It used to be that you were actually advertising to bring patients in. Now you don't have enough facilities or staff to see them all. And so we're looking to technology to be extenders, but we don't want them to be burdens. And so the expectations have gotten so high that we really do need to have the technology to have that accuracy to achieve the outcomes, but it has to be cost efficient in our practice. And so I think that what you're seeing going forward is no longer these one-off devices that take up a lot of time and give you a lot of data, but you only need a portion of it. I think we're going to have much more centered information sources coming to us.
Tyson Eye, your clinic, is very well known for its high volume and high quality standards. What are your current bottlenecks in your clinic?
Well, when you look at the surgery, we've gotten pretty good at being able to do a lot of cases clean, efficiently, and have great outcomes. The problem is on the front end where there is a lot that goes into it. You know, the running joke is always measure twice, cut once, but in reality it's measure 6 different ways and cut once. And so I have to have a very large staff of highly trained technicians to be able to run multiple devices to get me the information to be able to come up with the outcomes that I'm going to achieve and what my patients expect. In the past, it was one size fits all. We took the cataract out, we put a IOL in, and they got glasses down the road. Now we're having to decide, okay, is this a good multifocal patient? Is this a better toric patient? You know, is it a regular astigmatism? We need to have all that information up front. And if you don't have the right data coming in, you can't get the outcomes. And so that's where I think the biggest bottleneck in our practice is having that patient workup and diagnostic evaluation.
What would change in your practice if this were to be done in one step on one device?
Well, when you're asking, is it able to be done on one step on one device? Others have tried. The problem is they had done it in a fashion that one step was longer than 3 individual steps. And so it actually became a bigger bottleneck. So the idea is, yes, we want it in one step, but that step has to be highly efficient. No wasted spaces, not all these drop-down boxes and check marks and interaction. It needs to be simplistic for the tech, but it needs to be eloquent for the surgeon to be able to get the data that we truly need. And I think that is going to increase the throughput, because I think we really can, with the technology today, achieve all that in a very short time factor. And then, you know, maybe I need 2 or 3 of these, and I can do 2 to 3 times the volume of workups. So I see a device like this not just being a one-trick pony just for cataract surgery. I see this as the entryway to my clinic, where if it's accurate and fast, we're running these tests on everybody that comes through, because most of that information is needed for a standard eye exam. There's just a little bit more that can be obtained at the same time that gives me all the information that I also need for cataract surgery.
Patients increasingly expect refractive outcomes in cataract surgery. Premium IOLs are growing. And how has this changed your diagnostic workflow over the years?
Well, it used to be we did a biometry, we figured out what the Ks were, what was the axial length, and that's all we needed, and we took the cataract out, put the lens in. Now we need to sit there and reevaluate, what does the ocular surface look like? What's the amount of astigmatism? What's the anterior? What's the posterior? Does the macula look healthy? We have all these variables that we need to address on the front end, otherwise we will end up with problems on the backside. And none of the machines currently out there do a great job on all of this, so we end up having to utilize multiple devices. Our patients are elderly. Just the fact that you have to get them up, move them to the next machine, sit them down, get them acclimated, re-input all the data again, take the imaging, get them up, move them to the 3rd device. There's a lot that goes on, and it is tiring on the practice, but it's tiring on the patient.
We've talked a lot about the workflow and about the issues that you're having right now. You're here in the Acuity suite. You have seen a few of the devices, and Acuity's mission is to come out with technologies that will improve outcomes while saving cost and money. And what resonates about that with you?
Sounds like somebody's listening. You know, Acuity is a company that is being driven by surgeons. It's surgical input, and we're actually finally having that talk with the engineers. In the past, a company would bring in great engineers and they would develop a product, but it may not totally fit in the real world. This time around, we're actually having that collaboration where we're having surgeons that are using devices, multiple different ones. We're cherry picking what works, what doesn't, but we're also giving our wish list of how we'd like to actually see something with that we've never seen before. So I think this type of collaboration is really going to help bring out a winner. And frankly, we have access to technology that we didn't have 5-10 years ago. So things that we didn't think were possible now are, and with the biometer that's being produced, it's amazing what is actually being all put into one form factor.
Now, you already mentioned the IQ meter, the biometer. There is also the IQ Surgery View, the microscope, as well as the IQ Flow, the handheld ECP, and all of these will be available pretty soon. Which is your favorite one? What are you looking forward to most?
Well, I was one of the, right in the early part of my career, way back, 2002, I was a big proponent of ECP. I was speaking for Medtronic on it, and we were doing about 15% of our cataract cases with ECP, but it had a big console that you had to purchase. You had all this fiber optics. In our practice, we had to have one designated ECP probe tech because we didn't want finger pointing. Well, she broke it. No, he broke it. She broke it. Because we wanted responsibility for that probe, because if it shattered any of the fibers, your clinic lost money. And now all of a sudden, these engineers have sat there and shrunk all this down into a disposable handheld. And what I love about this engineering team is they don't have any preconceived ideas of what it should be or shouldn't be. So why do we need to have fiber optics? We can put a camera chip on the tip. Why do you have to have a Heaney neon aiming beam when we can have AI automatically figure out and put a virtual aiming beam on it? You know, we're using finger control to actually activate it. We don't have to have a foot control, but we have that as an option. So now, especially with the days of PE and other people owning surgery centers, there's not this, oh, we're not going to buy that for you, doctor, because now there's no CapEx. Now we can use this as we want. And the other day I was hearing Paul Singh talk about it, and he goes, the things that you were hearing him say, I hadn't even thought about, because you were asking me about the microscope. He was sitting there going, well, if I have this integrated into the microscope, now when I'm looking through that image, I can use this device not just to treat glaucoma with the ECP laser, but I can use that as my visualization to go do MIGS without a goniotomy lens. So there's things we haven't even thought about on the integration platform. But then the 3D scope, my associate, he's had some neck surgeries. My father, who's an ophthalmologist, had neck surgeries. It sounds like a dangerous career to be in. Yes. They're out to get us. But this microscope, one, has the resolution that's better than anything else on the market. There's almost no latency with it now. And so when you're looking through it, you have a pivot point, an extension, and another pivot point. So you can align it up however you want. So I like to sit forward with my seat forward like that. My other doctor wants to sit back and like this, and then the third one has a different chair. I mean, this thing will adapt to whatever their comfort factor is, but you know, it also can output 3D onto a big screen like this, so the rest of the people in the OR can watch and do teaching that way, or we can output the headsets. So it's that variability and options for everyone that I really like. And then it's also designed where it's being made for the future. It has modularity. It's not a one-trick pony that you buy and 5 years from now you have to throw away and do all over again. It's made to be able to add on other technologies.